Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today, I have a very special someone with me. Please welcome Sharda on our channel. I have a long-standing relationship with her. We have been really great friends for the last couple of years, and I admire her not just as a friend but also as a professional in the sustainability and renewable energy field. So, I have some questions for you, Shada. I guess we can get into it.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much, Divya, for the introduction. Thank you so much.
All right. So I guess we would probably get started from the beginning of the journey that you have been on. What sort of educational background and how did you land up where you landed up?
Sure, sure. So, since a kid, me and my friends were very aware that we won't litter on the roads. We would always carry our chocolate wrappers in our bags and then go home and put it in the dustbin. So, it's a very small beginning. But then I went on, did my bachelor's in electrical. We had an optional subject. We had various optional subjects, but I took renewable energy as one because I was always keen on environment. I did not have a sense of climate change or sustainability per se, but
Mhm.
environment was something I was always keen on.
Okay.
So I did that. I did my final year project in renewable energy where we made a solar charger. Which
Okay.
would charge your phone powered by renewable energy or by solar energy. And you could just put a 5 rupees coin and your phone gets charged for 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So this was a small beginning into renewable energy, and I landed up my first job in a renewable energy firm in a solar firm.
Hmm.
And during one of those, very interestingly, during one of those working years working in solar, one of my managers, he sent me to a zero waste meetup. He said, just go, and he wanted me to meet someone else there for a
Okay.
networking thing, but I landed up in the zero waste thing.
Mm.
And very interestingly, um, so it was a very cool space where people were, knowledgeable. They were talking about composting, they were talking about recycling,
Mhm.
and as a group activity, they gave us some things to upcycle because
Yeah.
definitely upcycling we think
Yeah.
is a better alternative than recycling.
Yeah.
So they had some cups, papers, paints, etc., etc. But me being me and us being us, we were not great at arts.
Mm.
So we did not eventually make up that cup holder from a paper cup or a pen holder from that cup, and it landed in waste. And then I
Mm.
came back and realized that the entire thing we did was flawed. 25 people using those paper cups, brushes, and whatnot, went to waste. It was not a zero waste event.
Yeah.
So that struck me, and then I started reading more about uh, sustainability, zero waste, how to live a sustainable lifestyle. And I think from there, I eventually, used to think every time because we as humans, we see that recyclable label on our products. Any product you get, anything you get, it's a recyclable. You think, it will be recycled. But as we know, only 9% of the world's plastic is recycled.
Right.
So that conscious thing of remembering that no, this is a plastic, this is a paper. So that led to a lifestyle. It's not a definitely a perfect lifestyle, but a definitely a conscious lifestyle now.
Yeah. Oh man, I have related to so many things that you just mentioned because I myself have seen so many people say, this will get recycled. And
Yeah,
unfortunately, they don't even know what goes into recycling. Of course, you cannot throw away a packaging material that's soiled or contaminated. It has to be cleaned to some extent at least for it to actually become recyclable. And yeah, I mean, it's weird, like all those events that are sort of conducted with a good purpose, but at the same
yeah,
time
yeah.
end up becoming part of the problem, I guess. Um, so it's so nice to hear about the solar charger as well. I'd love to get more deets on that later.
Yeah.
But super interesting. It's important, I guess, for all the audience members to realize that you could be doing whatever you are doing and still have an interest and find yourself moving towards sustainability or renewable energy or zero waste lifestyle. So there are so many avenues. It's just a matter of picking up your phone, I guess, not the books anymore,
Yeah.
but picking up your phone and just Googling very quickly, like, what is this and how do I start off with it? So that's great. Okay. So I guess my next question would then be, how was your experience working at the solar firm that you were working with, and how do you see solar? I mean, it's already a big thing right now, But how do you see the solar industry sort of evolving, and where do you see its role being in a sustainable future for our generation and for the coming generations as well?
I think it is definitely a huge role, no doubts on that. Currently in India, we have at least 40% of renewable energy share. So as a country, we have not met our targets yet, but I think it has penetrated everywhere.
Yeah.
From just off-grid systems to now whole your utility plants, rooftop plants, industries, houses, residential, everywhere it has penetrated, and now everyone knows that such a thing exists.
Mm-hmm.
So my experience, I usually I dealt with a lot of commercial industrial spaces when I was working in renewable energy.
Mm-hmm.
The only challenge I felt was uh, the intent behind installing the solar.
Okay.
I feel sad about it that the intent was on more on savings, and the priority was savings and then the environment part, or
Mm-hmm.
most of it sometimes was compliance because the MNC wants to be net zero by say 2040, 2050.
Right.
But nonetheless, I mean, whatever it takes for their energy transition,
Yeah.
that was fine. Uh, but definitely, people are aware. There is education about solar energy,
Mm-hmm.
and I think about the recycling part of solar, which now a lot of concerns are coming up.
Yeah.
How do we recycle solar panels? I think now is the time when the innovation and recycling will also happen, and people will start thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I think that is something doable because if you think about a solar panel,
Mm-hmm.
it is made of aluminium. Aluminium can be recycled for a
Infinitely.
number of times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
infinitely. Glass can again be turned into sand and again into glass.
Mm-hmm.
The silver ribbons, again a metal.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it can be done. It's just need a better infrastructure. But
Mm-hmm.
that does not mean that solar is not done. Solar is one of the most cheapest source of renewable energy we have in the world today.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have to take the rescue. We have to take that route. Moreover, I find very interesting in terms of solar is the growing trend of agri-photovoltaics. It
Mm-hmm.
is great for plants which needs shade and
Yeah.
not a lot of sunlight also. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a perfect combination. I know that it's not there yet, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a great trend that should pick up.
Yeah. I mean, oh wow. So many different points that you've brushed upon that I sort of want to add on to, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, sure.
but I guess just in the interest of time, I will probably just limit myself to a couple. So talking about agrivoltaics, I saw on LinkedIn a very interesting post from the World Economic Forum about an agrivoltaic plant and its benefits. It was a short video, so it's easier to grasp onto information and hold on to it when you
Yeah,
see it in a video format, I guess. So it was so interesting to see that agrivoltaics don't just protect the plants that are growing underneath, but it can also sort of help sort of provide shade to animals that are grazing, say on land that's meant for grazing of animals. So it was pretty cute. There were tiny little sheep
yeah.
running around and around the solar plant. And so I guess there are a lot of benefits, and it's pretty exciting to see all of that happening. And the second thing that I would like to brush upon would be the fact that you mentioned that unfortunately a lot of people are choosing solar right now for the savings benefits or whatever, not exactly for the environmental purposes. But I feel whatever gets people to do the right thing, I guess, we sort of have to have that. We have to swallow the hard pill, I guess. We can't have everything happen perfectly, unfortunately. People, process things in their own manner, and if only the world were like if all the world were made up of Shardas, then it would
No,
be
no.
a much better world that we would be experiencing.
But one more thing to add upon this, I also feel with solar is,
Hmm.
as of now, I'm kind of condition of India.
Yeah.
So we do need more and more coal. There was a time, I think sometime back this year or last year, where we had very limited coal reserves with us, and we
Hmm.
have to import coal from other countries.
Yeah.
Uh, so it is more of energy independence also, energy
Hmm.
security also.
Yes.
If you are making energy inside in
Hmm.
your country within the immense potential of solar that is,
Yeah.
then you definitely reduce your dependence also and make you a stronger country also. From a very economic perspective, I feel that it's very important to have their own resources, which is abundantly available in India, a tropical country like India.
For sure. I mean, the amount of resources and just the availability of abundant sunlight, and even wind farms can be set up along our coastlines or massive coastline. So the
Correct.
potential is immense. It's just a matter of tapping into it. Um, but I would also like to add here that unfortunately, maybe with renewables, we kind of have to invest a lot in battery energy storage and energy storage in general of any nature, because the variability of renewable energy is something that one has to deal
Hmm.
with, and we need power 24/7. So we kind of have to invest a lot. I guess the market is still developing, and we are potentially going to reach there. We are going to have some economic breakthroughs in terms of the energy storage options that are available, and maybe some innovations happening in one of our science forums or scientific organizations. So here's hoping. So yeah,
Definitely.
all right. So that's pretty interesting. So how long did you work in in the solar energy space for?
Around 4 years. Yeah, that is a pretty 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I understand correctly, you were sort of responsible for also designing the system and doing all the technical nitbits of
Yeah.
you know getting that solar plant really installed in the first place, and also interacting with the client and trying to see assess
Correct.
what their needs are, right?
Correct. Correct. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay. So that's very interesting for me to know, because I myself have worked in the solar space for quite some time, but I was more involved towards the aftercare of the solar plants, which was
Oh
the
yes. Yes.
operation
The
and
operational
maintenance,
thing.
right? So I was not as technically sound in terms of designing the whole
But
system,
I know
because
you handled the robots, which were ahead of the time at the time you were working in solar.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I have this terrible habit of downplaying myself and also sort of beating myself down. So
No, girl,
um,
you can't do that.